This stuff. Decided to come back to Grand Theft Auto because I like Grand Theft Auto. It's fun. The ragdoll physics are hilarious, and I don't know what they do. They're just like, it's like, I don't know. Like I would. I'm not trying to say that I would be in any of these situations because I would never probably take those risks at all. Oh, had to stand up for a little while. We're gonna talk about a topic. It's gonna be good. We're gonna have a topic, and hopefully I turn down the volume so it's not all the way on my thing, because I have to eventually put this. There we go. For me, at least, the volume is down, and I like it. Doop doop doo. Doop doop doo. Doop doop doo doo doo. Doop doop doo. I actually flinched when I saw that staircase coming towards me, and I'm used to pressing the X button a lot, so I'm gonna see if I can not get used to, or get unused to doing a bunch of stuff. Let's see here. Yeah. We're gonna come up with a topic. It's gonna be grand. It's gonna be great. See what kind of topic, man? What kind of topic we can come up with? I'm gonna turn off this music because it's copyrighted. Nah. Copyrighted music. What kind of music is copyrighted, I guess? Let's see here. Oh, okay. It's a good one. The reason music is copyrighted. Or the reason people... I don't know. Let's see. Something better than that. Because I see like a bunch of stuff going down in the music business pretty much, seeing as how all this stuff is happening with YouTube, that it's eventually gonna kind of bleed over into the music business, and realize that, oh, popping bottles and oh, fucking bitches is gonna be kind of like the whole thing, or the fact that, or talking about like situations. It's like the same amount of people who talk about that stuff don't talk about the fact that in some cases, even country music or even different kinds of genres of music could be, I'd say, what's the word? Well, I guess in the same sense too, like if you're thinking about things kind of more metaphorically, people want to have a good time, I guess. So I don't know. And that also too, you gotta think about the song, tonight's gonna be a good night, and fill up my cup, mazel tov. Other different stuff. Let's see, I'm getting somewhere. I'm gonna get somewhere. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be good. We're gonna go to a paradise of metaphors, and I'm probably gonna go to a different car, seeing as how this one has something wrong with its tire right now. And I didn't. Oh wait, there's a motorcycle. Yeah, gimme. All right, let's see, what kind of topics are we talking about? Oh, it tastes like sushi, and I don't know. I have not eaten sushi today. So, yeah, that's alarming, actually. Maybe it's just the protein that I've been eating. It's becoming from mostly fish. So, the zinc, I guess. Yerp. Yeah. Cruising the world. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see, I don't know. I'm gonna come up with something. It's gonna be good. Going somewhere with this topic. It's gonna be good. Wait, is that a...
Miss me!
Alright, let's see if we can jump it. We can jump a car. It's gotta be a good car. It's gotta be a low to the ground car. Or else I'm not gonna... And yes... Oh, okay. I mean, that has a lot to do with YouTube, I think, and less to do with actual people. I mean, like... Because, I mean, I use this as a platform to be able to share different things, but I'm not really, like... Oh my god, thinking about it constantly. Or, I mean, I check my emails, but it's like... Yeah. I mean, that's cool. This sucks, man. I can't even find a car that... Alright. There we go, there we go. Oh, you son of a bitch! That is an amazing bullet time ragdoll freaking physics, though. I went completely across the entire lane of traffic. That was awesome. But yeah, talking about, let's see here. I'd say the way that music affects us in certain ways, but also too, I mean, it's like, it's hard to like, and but in the same sense too, I guess that same song, I guess Tonight's Gonna Be a Good Night, can like represent false appreciations and in the same sense create an influx of people with false representations of what a night action is actually going to be, or what a person is actually going to experience given the amount of time that they've actually had to experience, or whether they're socially accepted at all. Like, because I noticed that I'm not turning heads or anything like that. So, I mean, it's nothing that's been said before. I mean, it hasn't already been said before, but I mean, but also too, I think that the way that people sort of not just consume media, but expel media from themselves, like the way that they try to teach themselves to do different things, or like, I don't know, like the way that people sing in the shower, not realizing that it's a hot environment. So when your body's taking in warmth and stuff like that, you can sing in a better environment. You can sing in it's actually a better environment for you. I'm trying to get that motorcycle. Oh my god, damn it. And I gotta turn that off. Yeah. But yeah, thinking about that kind of stuff is it's kind of weird sometimes. I had to angle it so I could actually get the freaking thing instead of just making him pop up on front of me. I elbowed the car. It's pretty awesome. I mean, I elbowed the motorcycle. It's pretty awesome. Let's see here.
That was close.
But I mean, also too, like there's a bunch of people that I mean, I have a certain style, I guess, and that mimics other people as well, within that same consciousness, or within that same not consciousness, or within that same construct of being able to express oneself. I think that people try to mimic each other, and also I've actually mimicked people that I had never seen before. And it's probably, but it has a lot more to do with the fact that I'm not really like-minded, but no, we're not really like-minded. We're more like experiencing. Like we experience media or things like differently than other people do. But also too, I'm not saying that I'm like another person at all. But I've realized sometimes that like when I say stuff or how I say stuff, I guess people are on the same page as me sometimes as far as media consumption. That's probably why the reasons why they gotta do this. Awesome, that was great. All right, I just knew I wasn't gonna make that backflip, so I decided I was gonna try to go for a front flip, and then it didn't work. But yeah, understanding different constructs of media and understanding the way that people consume media, because that's the reason why I think that I consume media is I constantly judge it. I constantly try to see different parts of it, try to see if it if I think about it a certain way, or if I think about it a different way, or if I think about it like a certain way with my friends, or a certain way with when I'm alone. Like that's the reason why I constantly like am kind of in I'd say a weird kind of meditative thought process, I guess. And all right, that's a beer burp. Oh, actually, I forgot to say this. Today's not sponsor, or not today's not sponsor, but this live stream's not sponsor. It's not sponsor is actually a beer that I actually enjoy. It's called Port Orleans Brewing Company, and it's a Storyville IPA. It's pretty good, and it's brewed below sea level because it has it on the label. It's delicious, and it's I guess the reason why I like it is because it accents a lot of foods and stuff like that too. But I'll drink it without food too. Not like without not without eating, but without a meal, basically. I guess what people try to see sometimes within their own media is they sort of want to recreate the same situation sometimes. I'm not like all about that all the time. I'm more about creating different situations out of the same constructs. It's like kind of that's the reason why I liked the whole the sameness out of doing the same thing more than once is considered expect, or doing different things considering the same results is like whatever. I don't know. It's people who decided to come up with a reason for what crazy meant. Tried to. But yeah, I'm drinking a lot of fish protein probably, and like I'm not drinking, but I'm eating a lot of fish protein probably. Like fish proteins, or whey protein bar, like more like maybe like a cow protein. Alright, now we're gonna go to the military base and try to get that goddamn jet, because we're gonna get it. That's gonna be beautiful. I try to consume media in a certain area, because like I mean, people think that you would try to consume media to be able to see something's flaws. When you start to look at an artist a certain way, or see them in a certain light, I think that that you can. And actually, that game made me better at driving in this game. That was nice. Or actually, I made myself better because, and I. Come on, you little. Jeez. All right, now I'm more aerodynamic. All right, we got it. understanding what type of media you're into, or understanding what kind of media you actually consume, I guess. Realizing whatever kind of stuff you're into. I mean, after a certain age, obviously, you create a level of maturity whenever you're actually consuming something, and you realize that even though you're consuming, it's like that creator doesn't have a constant, what's the word? I love that song, but I have to take it off because of awesome. There we go. This car sucks, and I don't know how to drive it inside of sand. The Super GT is not good. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. It's too fast, I think.
This car's gonna be parked outside your house.
All right, we're gonna see if we can get a better car. All right,
Let's go.
and yes, I know I talk about Rick and Morty a lot, or I don't talk about Rick and Morty a lot, and see, people have actually I say, what's the word, a reference that I burp a lot. It is actually because I drink and eat cheese and water and soft drinks, and I consume different things, so that's why I burp. But I talk a lot too, in the same sense, so there's like a way for me to talk a lot and then burp. And within an hour of me actually talking and non-stop talking, then I'm gonna burp, because I'm forcing air out my front. When I force air out the front of my mouth, then that's the way that the air itself that I take in from drinking and doing different stuff. It's like, that's the reason why Rick on Rick and Morty actually keeps burping sometimes and doesn't fart. It's actually a reference in the show sometimes. It's because no matter what, he's constantly explaining something or constantly telling you something. So that's the reason why he's always constantly burping. It's like there's a human condition inside of that show. And that's also something that probably the creators didn't even understand, because they were just doing it probably because he was drunk, or because he was drunk all the time, or something like that. But understandably so, that's the reason why he's constantly burping, is because, or the reason why I think he's constantly burping, is because he's constantly saying something, or constantly telling someone something, or constantly having to try to explain, because usually, I think and also I think, there we go, okay, alright, yeah. Alright, I get it now. I get what I'm trying to say.
Bullshit.
Son of a bitch. Trying to get in that goddamn military base and they won't let me. The gravity won't let me. We're gonna keep trying though. We're gonna keep trying. So let's see here. And also too, I think country itself doesn't actually come from and that's my controller, I think it's getting lower, so I'm probably gonna change out. There we go, there we go, there we go. Yes. I was trying to break dance, it was pretty awesome. Only 2 doors, both on the left side. Yes. Alright, there it is, it's green one, yay! Alright, we're gonna see if this dude likes a car in his face. There we go. And then, we gotta get out, because we need to get up. Come on, we gotta get up. Gotta get up, gotta get up. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch, son of a bitch, son of a bitch, son of a bitch. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. It's friggin'. It's friggin', come on! Son of a... Alright, but yeah, the way people consume media and the way people understand media, I guess, or actually maybe they even intended that for Rick and Morty. I didn't. The fact is that when you expel things from your mouth out a lot, you expel the air that is coming out of your digestive system a lot through that. So, and also too, this probably has a lot to do with them just actually speaking a whole bunch. But understandably so, that's probably what they actually envisioned for the character too. So,
This town has got some crazies,
but I think that the way that people enjoy media and actually see different things, and I know that I sound like a fucking prick sometimes. I sound like I don't fucking know anything and that I'm just elaborating on everything that I actually talk about. But I do actually study stuff. I mean, I do actually look at people's mannerisms, and I have actually been in a class that my dad literally kind of administered, but on actual body language and stuff like that. Except my dad did it inadvertently, well, not inadvertently. I would like to be able to think that he did it inadvertently, but sometimes he probably did things on purpose, because of my adeptness to being able to see things for what they are sometimes. But also too, and also I say also too a lot, not to try to not to try to correlate things, but to realize that pretty much everything bleeds into everything. And I try not to take a stance on things because of the fact is that everyone's trying to take a stance on something right now. Everyone's trying to be somebody, and that's all they want to be is themselves, and they want to say something, but they don't know how to say it. But I mean, it's like it's hard to come up with an actual standpoint or an actual thing, because I would literally go back and forth in my head about actual arguments that I've actually envisioned about me going through. What's the word? Like literally like just I've thought about things.
Just hope that broke your goddamn neck.
I've thought about things that literally I've realized that at a certain point in my life I stopped trusting a lot of people. I realized in my life that I started to not to say that I didn't trust people, but I stopped trusting their best intentions, even their best intentions on what my life was. No matter if they were abusing me, or if they were trying to abuse me, or if they were telling me half-truths or anything like that. Or even not telling me full truths or anything like that. Because I mean, there are people that love me that have told me half-truths. There are people that care for me that have told me absolutely nothing in their certain situations, because sometimes it just wasn't never my business. And also too, it was their decision to actually tell me whether or not it actually was anything. But also too, realizing that them constantly shoving off their let's see, what is it, them actually shoving off their wants or desires in a certain situation, or the want of desire of them not telling me anything, but actually made me more adept to be able to come up with my own interpretations of what they actually think they're trying to say to me, or something like that. I'm not too off-putting, I don't think. But and I think that sometimes I think the reasons why sometimes people don't interact with me is because they think that I think that I'm smarter than them, or they think that I think that, but maybe they just don't put as much into the details as I try to, or maybe they do put as much as in the details, and that's the reason why they're so adept at not actually talking to me. And that's probably why I've actually been a socially consorted, not so consorted person sometimes. And I'm gonna kill these two dudes, and actually one dude, or not one dude. Alright, there we go. Come on. Alright, I gotta get the freaking hell out of here now. Because I cannot defeat these guys just by going back and forth. I think that, what people try to do, I guess, in retrospect are inclining to be responded to in certain situations. I guess what I try to do sometimes is see past what they're going to do five steps from then. And I guess that's my hobby sometimes when I talk to people, is to guess what kind of word's gonna come out of their mouth 2 or 3 minutes from now. You know, it's like to guess like what kind of stuff is going to be coming out of their mouths by the time I tell them what I am and how I believe things, or how I tell them that no, I don't believe in either side because I think that it's a republic, and I think that I don't believe in either side of politics. I don't believe in either side of politics that they're currently possessing right now. I think that most people should realize that if they believe in socialism, realize that people are dying in socialism because of the fact that they can't get things through certain areas of things, and also because we have sanctions against them as well. Because what they're, I guess what people would understand is, they always say that I mean, and like I don't get it sometimes, is and even sometimes the people who are like the far right, or would call themselves the far right, they're not really the far right, or even the simple right, or even the right amount of right. What does that even mean? It's just blaming. I don't get it sometimes, this political situation, but also too not talking about that bullshit, because it's just that bullshit sometimes, and it's also un-American too sometimes to actually think that one side of an argument or another side of an argument is completely right about something. And that's like the reason why they come up with bills, and the reason why they come up with a whole bunch of different other stuff. It's like oh, like if we do a bunch of stuff, and I'm probably gonna die right now. Yep, I died. But that's the reason why I think that people should really look into the way they feel like, as actually politics goes, and not actually judge a person based on what they see or how they see them, the way they see them, or even the size of what they think they are, or the look that they have, or judging, like, because I don't judge people by certain looks. It's like people like to look good, so why would you even expect them to have their initial look to actually be a part of their personality? It's like their initial look at you, like, and if they say stupid shit, or if they say one dumb thing, why would that one person have just one look? We put on clothes like there is no tomorrow. Why would we not put on looks? Even people who haven't practiced them, even people who genuinely are feeling emotion, they in their own minds, like, or in their own psyche, have literally thought about how they would react to, say, I guess someone passing away, or a tragedy happening, or anything like that. And that's not fake. It's just it is real. But I don't like that guitar. It's weird because it's actually like not a guitar. It's actually a track. It's also an MS Paint. So, or not MS Paint, but it reminds me of an MS Paint sort of thing. But even in the stuff that I don't like, I try to find something that I do like. Even if it sometimes, mostly because I was forced actually to listen to certain things sometimes, or not listen to certain things, because I don't get, and I guess that's probably the reasons why my mom thinks she did something. She didn't think I did something wrong, or, I mean, Okay, back to the topic. The way that we consume media, or the way that we try to consume media, and it has a lot to do with the people's psyche and the way that people are feeling in a certain situation or a certain emotion, and that's the reason why I talked about my emotions in certain ways and the way that I feel politically sometimes, because people don't understand sometimes that they're actually just feeling a political wave of what people are actually thinking or feeling, or a certain what people would call a generation, because there's technically no such thing as a generation. I mean, not just because what Adam what's his name, Adam ruins everything. I mean, I knew that was a fact because I never really, it's like I use it ironically most of the time. And that's pretty much what everyone else does as well. Because I think that if you put more labels on something that doesn't really deserve it, I think what you should actually do is and I just went through a door. That was really awesome. It basically comes down to, I'd say, and no one's actually following me on this because I'm kind of realizing that there's a younger audience right now. And that's the reason why I'm probably, there's probably no one on. And I don't believe someone if they tell me that they're 17, if they tell me that they're 17. But mostly there's little kids that play different games. But also, there are very high political overtones and undertones in some of those video games that are actually inappropriate for kids. And I mean, I really don't think that sometimes kids should have a political say-so sometimes. And that's not because of my raising. It's because of the fact that is that everything can get so complicated sometimes, and people can start to even kids can start to revolt, or in their own I'd say and I'm not saying that here we go, jump it. Yes. Ah, shit. But yeah, I do like playing these games, and I'm gonna keep playing them online because I want to, and I think that the way that we consume media sometimes, it talks to people. It tells people the way we believe in something or the way we don't believe in something. I really don't think this is an allegory for what American society is, and I think that sometimes, in a way, that these video games in other countries can give people the wrong idea about the way that people say that LA and Los Angeles is its own basic thing. Is any hub in the entire world has a different dynamic than any place in the country or rural areas or anything like that. Or but you would think that any place that actually I'd say pushes toward a demand or to a supply, I guess. What people don't understand is there's so many reasons for I'd say people completely staying out of my stream. There are reasons for like people completely leaving my my stuff. Like, just there are complete and utter reasons, and those reasons are stupid. Because you have to realize that that's the reason why I probably got banned off of a bunch of stuff. Or not banned, because I got completely kicked off of servers and stuff like that. Is because and also too, I don't get my ideas from other people. I really don't. I am not just a Rick and Morty-esque sort of thing. I actually did study all of those scientific experiments before they ever even came out onto a Rick and Morty platform. And I think that what people need to understand is you only need to know the concept in order to come up with a hypothesis about something that you're actually thinking about. You only need to understand the thumbnail to be able to realize that that thing isn't either right or not right for you. And in the same way, I think that people think that there is some sort of like, oh, maybe he'll say something different or cool or fun. And that was cool when I was not 30 years old. That was fun when I was like not almost middle-aged. But now I have to start taking things seriously. I have to start taking myself seriously, and I have to start taking 10-year-olds seriously when they say they're 10-year-olds. And I have to be like, hey, if your parents say it's okay, then yeah, that's cool. But other than that, no, I can't. But also in the same sense, it probably wasn't a 10-year-old. Because in the same sense, 10-year-olds don't say please. And also too, with the same sense of like saying that a 10-year-old was, because I like playing this game, and I don't feel like not playing this game sometimes. So there's gonna be no one actually watching, and I'm playing video games. So yay! But they're probably not gonna like what I have to say, anyways. About sometimes people consume media who shouldn't consume media that way, and I think that sometimes I think everything, people try to group things together and say that they're trivial, but understandably so, it's not a U.S. bill. Like, things aren't a U.S. bill. They're not a bill to be passed in Congress. People aren't going to group things together if you don't immediately try to group things together. If like say like if you don't funny. Say that if you group together, I'd say the female figure with this ragdoll physics, or say that oh, it's terrible what they're doing to these youths and stuff. And it's like, no, it's not. It's just another way of looking at culture. Because every single generation, or literally every single individual is going to have an individualistic experience, and also an individualistic perspective. So it's like, and I think that what other countries think about America is that oh, we're always eating, or we're always doing something. It's like, no, we're always hungry because we're always running, or we're always going somewhere. And people who are in cities constantly running and doing different things are always hungry. It's just sometimes you get the rural perspective on a metropolitan area in a different country. And I think that's the way that people have actually made a differencing of opinion sometimes, as they'll take a soundbite from something that someone said, probably sarcastically, in a rural area, apply that to what they think that metropolitan people do every single day, or say that. But also too, they'll take it from two different regions of the world. And people are like, well, these people said this, or these people said this. No one actually represents those people. People need to understand is that there are no such things as any more ambassadors to anything other than if you're a representative of a state, or a country, or an entity, or a business, or anything like that. There are no more goodwill ambassadors sometimes. You have to understand that those things are kind of like trivial, and if you get paid for doing something like that, then, I mean, like, say for instance, the Irvin Mayfield. I'm sure that there's other people that have done it. I'm sure that there's other people that have gone into positions of power and decided that they were just decidedly whatever, or something like that. Like, oh, like, it's like, oh my god, that's great, right? Like, it's like telling someone, like, there's a bunch of stuff that actually happened, I think, in this situation, and I think that that people don't understand that that there are a lot of other people that are at fault. And that's what I mean sometimes whenever people, when I say that, oh, there's going to be a lot more people going down in New Orleans, and yes, there will be, but understandably so. That's going to happen within time, and it's going to show within the practices and the things that they actually took, or the things they actually did. People think that there's going to be some sort of revolution or something like that of people who are just like, no, these people can't go to jail. And it's just like, no, they can. They pretty much can. They can pretty much go to jail. Because anyone can if they do something terrible or horrendous. Edwin Edwards didn't have that long of a run, if you think about it. And people are going to have to understand is the more they allow those people and stop doing background checks and stop doing a whole bunch of different things for certain people, the more they're going to realize they're halting economies and they're halting people from actually doing things that they actually want to do. And that's basically the thing that is actually running right now. And that's the thing that I'm having to deal with every day. So, so there's a lot of stuff that actually goes on around the old thing. There's a lot of people that that you don't see and you don't hear from, and they're the ones that you probably need to look at the most sometimes. And those people are gone, and then somebody takes a fall, or and those people are like, oh, they just got out on the 2 o'clock flight, and no, stop that guy, because it's stupid, it's dumb. That guy will ruin another economy, or that guy will decide, and you know what? If I'm getting into some sort of territory that I shouldn't get into, and no one's there to stop me because I'm still talking. I'm talking about the Irvin Mayfield sort of thing. And I'm talking about the way that we consume media and the way that it affects our economy. Or at least the way that it affects my personal economy sometimes. It makes me want to drink beer. But understandably so, I drink beer no matter what. Because beer is delicious. And beer is good all the time. All the time beer is good. I basically try to see through anything having to do with race, obviously, because I'm actually multiracial and no one ever cares, or to actually notice or tell me anything about it. Just be like, oh, that's really good. I'm just like, okay, I don't give a shit either. All right, great. It's just like, yeah, it's cool, but I know that you don't care about it, or you're not thinking about it whenever you're sleeping at night. It's like, Joe's multiracial. Oh my gosh. It's like, it's like, yeah, I don't really give a shit. It doesn't matter. It's like, I don't really care, because it's like, oh, my rights have been infringed upon. It's like, yeah, I still didn't get that plus thing, or that I'm Hispanic to go to college. It's like, no, I still didn't get that. I still didn't get that, because people don't care about your shit anymore. People don't care about anyone's shit anymore, because they just don't care. Because that's what happens. Because people all start to get in and chime in and say, maybe I should be getting something, or maybe they should be getting something, or maybe everyone should be getting something. And then we start to realize the actual mass amounts of, and the amount of people who just don't give a shit, and the amount of people who actually do kill each other all the time. Then you start to realize that, like, the games like these are just nothing compared to what people actually do to each other all the time. It's like, these are just crash dummies. That's the reason why I created, like, Crash Art Dummy, and I wanted to do a bunch of different stuff for to be able to see and be able to retrospect on society, and be able to see and let people know that these are literally just crash dummies that people made to be able to represent what they think sometimes real life sometimes reflects, or what people reflect in some sort of vision. But no one's gonna watch, and no one's gonna care. And also, the way that we actually realize that we constantly distract ourselves with something. There's someone doing something completely terrible in one corner of the world that no one sees and no one cares about, because no one wants to take the blame. But understandably so, not anymore. Not, at least not for me. And also too, I mean, the way that we consume media sometimes, and the way that I think about songs is like I'm really trying to find something that offends me in a certain sense. And that's the way that sometimes people walk through life. It's like you would say that a person who looks at you like funny, or or saying that, like, looks at you funny while you walk through a store, that's racist? No. They're just protecting their shit. They sell it to you. It's theirs. They sell it to you through another company. if they lose it, they have to pay that company. And hey, Viralis TV, I don't know if you're a real person yet, or but yeah, that's basically what happens sometimes. And even if that person has some sort of biased view against what you believe or who you are as a person, that's their shit. Who gives a fuck about them?
Oh, I am so sorry.
The more you give them a person who thinks like ill will towards someone else, or believes in an ill will towards someone else as something, the more you pay attention to them in society, the more they're like validated. It's stupid. It's dumb. Don't validate those people. They're dumb. They're just dumb. They're just like, even if one of them was to like take someone's life, you're just like, fuck you. You're going to jail, asshole. It's like you just took someone's life, and that's the reason why you're going to jail. Or you hurt someone, and that's the reason why you're going to jail. It's not because all these thoughts inside of your head resonated up and oh, your story or whatever. It's like Charles Manson. Who gives a fuck about him? I don't give a fuck about him. I don't give a shit, dumbass. Fucking stupid shit. Who gives? I know I snowball sometimes and think about like the randomest shit, and like it's like the fact that he destroyed lives is terrible. And yes, it's terrible. But as a person, no one cares. No one should have put that shit on TV. Him doing stupid fucking dumbass dance moves that he learned in a fucking... He did a dance move. That wasn't kung fu or anything. He did goddamn dance moves. He did Vogue for a dumbass minute, and he just thought that it was fucking hilarious, and he thought that he could somehow villainize people who were oh my gosh, man. People are stupid, and people think that if they did something and they pay for it, then they're somehow validated in some way, shape, or form. And that's the reason why you have to stop yourself. That's the reason why you have to stop yourself before you think about those stupid thoughts, or do something fun or nice for someone, and your own. Yeah, just think about somebody else. You know, like even if that person isn't that much to you, or doesn't believe that person is much to you, or even if you somehow have a disdain for that person, do something nice. Don't just leave that person. I've left people, but it was after the fact of them not understanding a situation that I went through, and actually believing or thinking that, and then after failing so many fucking tests that I put them through because of the amount of bullshit that they put me through. It's like, that's the only reason why sometimes I actually even thought of different stuff, like to be able to think of, or like it's like I failed a test, and it was a one-way road, and she was always doing the experiment, or she was always on top of the thing, and that's basically the reasons why I left the whole situation. That's the reason why I left my ex-wife, and also the reasons why I'm constantly trying to get over it every day. Constantly trying to push through it, and not try to blame her, but also realize that I didn't have any stake in it. It's like, those weren't my children. I wasn't the one that was going to the bar. And yes, she did, and it sucked. It sucked bad, and it basically what made me want to leave her. She went to the bar, and she had kids, and she went to the bar, and instead of like leaving it up to a certain thing, she left it to where it was okay. It's not like it was terrible, because one of them was old enough to be able to watch the other one. I mean, in her certain opinion, but in my opinion, you're never old enough. I was never old enough to be able to watch my siblings. My siblings are always running amok and doing stuff like that. I was never old enough to be able to watch my younger sibling. I was never old enough, and no one, not even my older sister was old enough to watch us sometimes. I was old enough when I became like 25 or 26. Or maybe I was old enough when I was 16. And then maybe I was old enough to be getting paid. I did that, and I did it responsibly. But still, even still, I think that sometimes there were situations sometimes that always arose with me that I found that if I had not found if I had not found if I had not found a grown-up, then I would have been completely out of it. And also situations that I thought were speculative, or situations that I thought could happen. And not to say that I was irresponsible or anything like that, or by any means, because I was a very responsible 16-year-old, or 17-year-old, and or 18-year-old as well. And I was 18 when I started actually watching my younger siblings. I was 18 years old, but I for the most part wasn't I wasn't consuming media properly. I wasn't giving myself enough credit, and I realized that a long time ago I could have been able to cross that street where all those cars were going, but I didn't, out of respect for my mom, and I didn't because I didn't feel like it, because if I did, then I'd be going against someone's wishes. And people want to say, I guess, or say that I'm Southern, and but I'm Irish. I'm Native American. My family, I guess, in other parts of Texas that I know, my other family and families are pretty much all over the country. My Irish heritage and Catholic heritage are mostly Irish and English, I guess. And I have a stake sometimes in things that happen, but also too I have to be able to have my own life, you know. I have to be able to have my own ways and my own things. I try sometimes to be able to see I try sometimes to be able to see through certain mold or certain processes of thought, I guess, that I inflict upon myself sometimes, or that I see in everyday life, and I try to not mimic but deconstruct. Oh, that was nice. But I think within the same bounds of being able to understand the facts that nice. Within those bounds, I understand that that I don't like being pushed around. I don't like being told that something is a certain way and then realize that it's not. Because I know that eventually I would realize that it's not that certain way. Especially within my own relationship that I just had, and the anger that I'm actually trying to go through and try to focus on and be able to pick out and constantly go at and just be like, you can breathe through this, you can push through this, you can make sure that this doesn't happen to you again, because it's happened so many times, and within people that I still respect, and within people that I still don't talk to sometimes, because of the simple fact is they took advantage of me, of my trust, of what I really wanted to do with myself, of how I wanted to do things with myself, of how I wanted to do things with them, of how I wanted them to realize that no, it's not the way that it seems. And people can say that they were just all taken apart by some sort of and I got it.
Shit.
People can say that they're taken apart by something, or that they can't go on, or say that certain things just had to happen, and it was better for us, or something like that. But I kind of understand that it was just you having a fling. You had a divorce, you went through a divorce, you didn't want to go through another one, so you just decided that you were going to go on and move to someone else. And if that's the thing that you really wanted to do, then I would have actually, like, said more power to you. Because I wasn't ready to defend you at every corner. I wasn't ready to defend everything that you were or everything that you said you were at every corner sometimes. And maybe that spoke to the reasons why I got into the relationship at all. Is I was running from not having kids. I was running from not having a family of my own. And I was running from anything that ever gave me any sort of joy. Is being able to be a part of someone's life that actually respects me as well. And but within that, me talking about myself and me saying things about myself distracts you from another different person, even though no one's actually watching this, because I'm actually aware of the fact that I sound like a complete prick sometimes. And but I'm also aware of the fact that if I didn't sound like a prick, then I'd get tons of people just constantly in my life that I really don't need sometimes. If I wasn't standoffish, or if I wasn't, if I didn't put people down sometimes, or say that, no, I'm not that thing, or that way, or that person that you think I am, of that person that you can just tell something to and then leave, or just go somewhere and then like expect me not to follow, or even when I do follow, you expect me to understand and even constantly appreciate you for who you are, even though sometimes you're not the best person. Or even if you are the best person, that you know it and that you act like it constantly, or not that you know it, but the fact is that you exuberate it, that you want to be that person, that you want to be that star in the mirror or something like that. People don't expressively want stars sometimes. Sometimes they want someone that they can relate to. Sometimes they want someone that they can relate to that is a little bit more attractive than them, or that they find a little bit more attractive than they find themselves. Or in the same sense, people find joy in different people no matter what sometimes. No matter where they're actually cool. And within those constructs, to be able to be a certain person and then still enjoy another person's company, and to be able to not only enjoy their company but enjoy their friendship. People really are kind of like they're put off sometimes.
60 miles per hour.
People can be so like, oh wait, don't talk about it though. I'm just like, all right, I'll try not to talk about it, but it really didn't involve that much effort in the first place. But or like, oh, don't say anything about him because he doesn't know that he's a blah blah blah. No, I'm sure that he knows exactly what it is, and every single time that he looks in the mirror every day and finds out that whatever blah 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 is wrong, that you think it is wrong, he finds out and he looks at every day in his life. I mean, the more you find out that you're looked down upon in a societal thing, the less you find people to be friends with sometimes, and that's wrong. I think that the reasons why, and I know that I shouldn't have that on. And that runs itself into what people would call I'd say a real dementia almost sometimes that people actually run into, or people try to actually like distance themselves from, and then try to shoot or try to hail disgruntled comments at, or something like that.
Roger.
And within that within that that very construct, or that very concept, people find out that the world that as they know it is just gone, or not even, or wasn't even there to begin with. Like being able to see that your concept of what media consumption is just bullshit, or is just messed up, or is just something. And that's the reason why I don't give a shit about likes or follows or anything like that. If I'm trying to get to someone, then that someone will find me. I do trust in a little bit of the algorithm, but in the same sense, I don't trust a lot of people, and I don't trust a lot of things, and I don't expect them to be able to get me to somewhere, unless they actually start to push towards it, or even push towards the fact that YouTube, or even the fact of YouTube, was meant to be about the creator, or the people who actually started to want to create music, or the fact that every single time there's a swell in something, or there's a swell in anything, there's always some meme about some dude putting a goddamn Nazi symbol above, and not even understanding that if you tilt it a little bit, like 15 degrees, then it's a fucking Indian symbol. It's an Indian symbol that people stole and decided to do something with because it was stupid and terrible. Or the fact of like people choosing an animal, because animals are stupid. Animals are dumb. They find things through smell and taste and whatever else. Whatever pattern they use to get there the first time, it's the same thing that they're going to use the second time, and the third time, and the fourth time, and the fifth time. And if anything changes, then they are, oh my god, their mind is blown. They're animals, okay? It's dumb. It's stupid. Don't be like an animal. And don't try to bastardize anything that's from another culture. I guess if you're going to bastardize it, then just turn it into a parody, or make it to where it's funny towards that certain group of people. And in some ways, the KKK is funny to a lot of different people, because they're a joke, and so is pretty much everyone else, as far as people who highly put their views on top of other people's stuff. But also too, I'm a joke as well, because I think that people should watch my stuff. Sometimes I get mad about it. Sometimes I get angry and say, hey, why isn't anybody paying attention to me? I thought people were actually supposed to pay attention to people on YouTube and not just follow mindless trends and dumb shit. I think that people, if they start to realize that their character, or that what they believe is like they're not collecting Pokemon cards. Being adamant about media is not a hobby, and they should realize that they have nothing but children following them. It's like Madonna herself in the 80s. She inspired a bunch of children. She danced with a bunch of 15-year-olds inside of a club. Yeah, it's stupid, it's dumb, and they made an exception, didn't they? Because those children they weren't given the right kind of stuff. It's like, they still shouldn't be in a goddamn club. And no, that's not a fundamentalist sort of view about it. It's just the fact that they shouldn't make exceptions for certain things. Because not only does it send a certain message to people in a certain country that really just wanted to be left alone sometimes, to be like, oh, that's what they do now, or that's what they do to people, that's what they have, so I guess the rules don't apply to them, so then the rules shouldn't apply to me, right? And that's what everyone thinks. I mean, even if no one's going to pay attention to it, I mean, you should still realize that people pay attention to stuff. People pay attention to indictments, and people definitely pay attention to money laundering whenever it happens, because they can see it through the money that's not being actually spent on other things, like libraries, and the fact that there was never a freaking paint job for the entire library. I noticed that shit. I understood that there was money laundering going on already. It was dumb. It was the stupidest idea ever, because I walked up to the library and I was like, why the fuck does this place look like a goddamn piece of shit? And why are there constantly a whole bunch of people who are constantly begging for change? Or not begging for change, but begging for cigarettes. Because that's what they're doing. They're not actually homeless. They're just begging for cigarettes because they're on disability or have a job that runs them completely dry, and they shouldn't fucking have it. Or it should be given to a high school student, or not a high school student, but a college student that would actually be much better suited because they have a set income anyways. It's dumb. It's stupid. Why run your entire economy on places and things that are constantly so trivial and completely can be put up in the air constantly? I think that it's dumb. It's stupid, and people should understand that it's on its way out. And that's basically the reasons why I even get on this stuff and try to change stuff, or try to say stuff, or try to tell someone, because it's just really, 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 really stupid to try to do something terribly illegal and then expect no consequences to come from it, or even expect that you'll be looked after in the wake of your arrival to, I guess, what jail is, or federal prison, which is not a fucking any kind of prison. It's not just a maximum. It is a more than maximum security prison. They will check your asshole every single day. Asshole every day. They'll check it a whole bunch. And people can say that, oh, he's not going to jail. No, he's going to jail. Because stupid people do stupid shit and they go to jail for it. It sucks. And it's stupid. And that's what happens. And no, I don't believe in the system. It just happens to be. I believe in my system of management. I don't understand exactly what's going on in the American government, but I pretty much get a concept. But in that same sense, I think that what people really don't understand is that the more we distract ourselves with constant just, oh, it's gonna be a good night, sort of speak, or sort of talk, or sort of media consumption, I think the more we're starting to realize that no, it's not going to be a good night all the time. That no, there's not a lot of people out there that are having a good time. They're not going to have a good time. And people themselves have to realize that the more they don't have a good time, the more things take over. The more people don't realize that other people take over. Other people come through.
Whoa!
This place is made from immigrants. So you have to understand is people that migrated here have just as much a right to the land as everyone else. But understandably so, if you're willing to actually decide to launder money or hold accounts for people who are just doing stupid shit and you know it, then you should really find a different line of work. And hopefully you'll be able to find some safety in the fact that there is an organization that would be able to have your back. In the fact of you maybe getting immunity. But understandably so, notice that they don't have control. They don't have power. And they can say whatever they want to say or however they want to say it. But none of those groups have any power. And none of those people have any power over me. And I can say that with confidence. And the fact is, I really wish that they weren't like this. I really do wish it. I wish that people would start being able to be more responsible for themselves. And yes, I am currently running through a crowd of people, but that's not a metaphor. I'm not trying to be metaphorical. This is a ragdoll physics thing, and actually, it's funny because none of these people would actually flip over. I'm actually trying to go through them, I'm not just trying to go around them, not through them. Shit. And no one's still watching, because this is the humanity of a dumb game. There's no one here to actually get hurt. But there were people that got hurt in that money laundering scheme. There were kids that didn't get books that they really needed. There were kids that didn't get books for their projects that they didn't get needed. That didn't get happen because of the fact that they didn't have any money to go into the library to be able to get the books from.
Lucky miss!
And there is never a victimless crime, if you think about it. And the fact is that that's the reason why people should actually be fighting for a just cause, or being on a just side, or being on any just side. It's because things like that happen every day in other countries too, and I know it because there's not enough to go around sometimes. And what people don't understand, or people don't really understand, is that it's all a part of a dumbass system that people have procured a long time. And the fact is that Democrats and Republicans have been pushing this economy back and forth for a very long time. And the stupidity of it just makes me angry. But also too, if you actually understand and realize other governments are literally just in their infancy sometimes, because they have literally no other way to look or no other way to see. They have to understand is that they have to start studying. They have to start preparing. And if they don't have time to prepare,
Suspect doing 90 miles per hour in a...
And they need to move and get more time. They need to move from the situation that they're in. They need to get out of the situation that they're in. And they need to find more time in another country, in another place that provides them more time. And it's not just an inconvenience. So the way that we consume media can kill us. It can kill everything about us, and it can kill every part of what's honorable about it. It did to Mayfield, and it can do it to others, because I'm sure that he was just a fall guy, and I'm sure that's exactly what the police think. Exactly what the police think, and that's what they're investigating on every single day. And no, I know for a fact that if that library had gotten money and be able to remodel and get more books and newer books, because I know how old those fucking books are. It's like shit happens underneath your nose, and you don't even care. It's like no one even gives a shit. Everyone just wants to take from another person, or take from another thing, or look at somebody like they're dumb or something, or look at somebody like look at me like I'm dumb one more time. And you know what? I'd much rather lecture you than raise any sort of fist to you. I'd much rather tell you about what's going on around the world around you that you literally have no idea about, or think that you have an idea about, and you have no idea. MTV Diaries. But the more you start to realize that there are people that care, and there are people that actually do care, the less you're gonna do stupid, fucked up shit that people are gonna find just appalling and literally completely downtroddening. Like, the more elite people that happen, the more realizations of, man, they're getting their money from goddamn laundering, or they're getting my money from, wow, wonderful cocaine. Or any sort of cartel dealings or something like that. And I'm not saying that I'm not bastardizing the word cartel. I'm saying that because it's just a Spanish word for group, I guess, or business, I think, or it's a group business or something. But understandably so, groups can go very, very awry when people start to insist on doing stupid projects and things that don't make any sense. Because it doesn't make sense to launder money. It doesn't make sense to think that that's going to happen. But understandably so, the more people think that they can get away with stuff, the easier it is for people to catch them. I know exactly how that stuff has happened in the past. And I know exactly how much of shit people are in for coming in the future. And people don't understand. People really don't understand and think that it's okay because I hid my money here and blah 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 and blah blah blah, and they can't get me on taxes because I actually outsourced it to this company. And yeah, the company you made up, which is money laundering. I'm not calling anyone out or saying anything because it's just stupid to do that because they already know. They already know. It's just stupid to think that they don't. Because if a person can figure out your social security number from literally just your telephone, if a person can figure out your social security number from just your telephone, from literally just looking at your screen on your telephone, what do you think they can find out if they know your entire history? Or they know where you've been at in certain areas, in certain places? You think they can fill in the blanks and figure out where you've been without those things? They already know. And whoever's been doing stupid shit and dumb stuff, it's done. It's done. And it's gonna happen more. If people don't understand that they already know. They've been doing research and research on top of research, on top of coding, on top of getting your information and saying, wow, this is pretty interesting. I wonder where it's coming from. And then tracing it to a fucking account in the Balkans. You fucking sly ass motherfuckers. War-torn countries that hold money for somebody. Oh my gosh, man. It's just easy to figure out where the money goes. It's just so easy to figure it out. It's like, oh, there's a country that nobody figured out is Syria? What? Are you serious? Syria is? Yeah. Fucking. It's like, oh well, okay. Mobsters don't hide their money in other countries. Why would they do that? That's stupid. Yeah, it's dumb. It's so stupid. And as soon as they figure out the numbers, it doesn't even have... They don't even have to ask you any questions. It's done. It's fucking done. Fucking, Saddam Hussein fucking... fucking ratted all those motherfuckers out. Oh shit, man. I told them I'm a brain, man. They're fucking insane. Oh, it's so easy, dude. It's so fucking easy. God damn it, man. Okay, this is done. I'm done. It's an hour and 18, man. Oh, so stupid, man. People get fucking retarded, man. You don't even fucking know, man. But their kids are safe in this country. Their kids don't get blamed for shit. Their kids aren't blamed for everything like they are in other countries sometimes. Their kids aren't shamed. They're not broken down and tattered or something like that. And that's the difference between our country, and other countries that do something like that's fucking terrible. That make examples of people constantly, because we don't have to make examples of anyone. And that's the reason, that's the media that I consume.